Hey friends, Jack here, hope you're all doing well. Today I've got some pretty interesting news and information covering a variety of topics that I'm sure that will all pique your interest and keep you fully entertained. Seeing as we've got some Battlefield footage here, I thought we'd start with some Battlefield news. It seems appropriate. Yeah, basically there's a new Battlelog trailer that's been released today, or it's been leaked, but should be released later today. Anyways, it's got a load of cool new features for Battlelog which are going to be incorporated for Battlefield 4. So what sort of stuff are we looking at here? Well, DICE have really gone in heavy with the whole tablet, phone, other device integration of Battlelog. Some of these things, yeah, they are a bit gimmicky, but some of them are actually useful at the same time. So don't just dismiss these ideas. I think they will be actually pretty cool when they're incorporated, when we're actually using them. Especially for the console players, because Battlelog isn't really used by console players because it's not really browser based on the console, is it? You just have like a server list. Whereas on the PC, it's how you join servers, it's how you speak to your friends, check out your stats. Console players can do that as well, of course, but it's a bit awkward having to leave your console and then go to your PC or use like a controller to browse the internet on your console. It's not ideal. So yeah, for the console players, some great new features. So what have we got then? So on your phones and your tablets, you're going to be able to check out all your stats. You're going to be able to configure your loadouts, find a server that your friends are playing on. So you might be on the bus coming home from work and you see that your mates are all on your favorite team deathmatch server, and yeah, just get ready to join it when you're back home. You can actually join the server from your tablet or your phone, whatever device you're using on. So as soon as you get into the door, stick your console on, stick your PC on, and bam, you can just press that button and that'll join you into the server. Again, not really a big deal for PC guys, but for console players, this is really useful because you'd have the browser list, you can have it all on your phone, you can have your favorite servers on there, you can just click on the server. If you've got the game loaded, it'll join that server for you. Pretty neat. You'll also be able to configure your loadouts. So say you're in a game and you get killed, you've got a pre-configured loadout on your phone, you can just select that, and then when you respawn, you'll have that loadout. So you're not going to have to go into like the customizable options in the game and then change your loadout. You can actually have preset weapons and attachments and gadgets already set on your phone. So you die, you go, I don't want to play assault anymore, I want to be a recon with an M98B and a soft lamp or something. So you just bam, you click on that, and then next time you respawn, you'll have that kit. You don't have to mess around in the game. Now the coolest new feature, which I'm really a big fan of, is the fact that you're going to be able to use a second screen, monitor, tablet, phone as a minimap in the game. So it's all browser based, it's like a live feed of the minimap. You can see your squad, you can see the enemy team, you can see which flags are taken. So you can use your second device or screen as a minimap in the game. Now as a PC player who uses multiple monitors, that's fantastic for me, because I'd love to have like a big minimap so I don't have to keep constantly zooming and switching out of the minimap views on my own monitor. I can just quickly look to the left, see if there's anyone around me. You can actually give orders as well. If you're on a tablet and you know, you want to give your squad an order to attack a certain objective or ask the commander for like a supply drop, you can do that on your tablet or your phone. Pretty neat. Another thing they talked about were challenges or missions that you can set for yourself and your friends. So they say in the video, say for example, you want to find out who the best tank destroyer is. So who's the best person at blowing enemy tanks up. So you can set a little mission and then go at it with your mates. You can invite people to that mission and then keep like a tally of how many tanks you've been destroyed and have a little friendly banter, friendly competition between you and your friends. Now if you want to go further than that, they've also incorporated geo leaderboards. So these are location based. So me, for example, I live in a place called Stafford in England, and I want to find out who the best support player is in Stafford. And if it's not me, I want to make it me. So you can see like local data, you can see everyone that's in Stafford, that lives in Stockholm, that lives in London, Paris. You can be the best jet pilot in Paris if you wanted to be. That's pretty neat. And that goes as far as like countrywide and then global leaderboards. So yeah, it looks like they're really ramping up these stats and progression, you know, make it a challenge between your mates and just give it a bit more end game, I guess, because if there's always someone new setting a challenge or a new goal, you're going to want to beat that guy, especially if it's one of your friends. Now, although there was no mention of like an offline or invisible privacy mode, this is something that developers have said that they're adding. So the trailer is more of a glimpse into some of the new features that they're adding, but of course there's lots of other stuff going on in there as well, which is great. Excellent, yeah, so some pretty cool features. I think all this stuff is going to roll out when Battlefield 4 is released. I'd like to see some of it rolled out before then, so we can sort of experience it on Battlefield 3. But yeah, it looks like it's going to all be available when BF4 is released in October. Right, hold up a second. Does anyone remember this TV show?
Now, I think you had better be on your way before your luck runs out.
Simon, stand up. Sidestep to your left.
Right.
Very good. Okay. Right.
Simon, stop.
Where am I?
You're in a grey room which has 2 doors at the end of it. It is a...
Warning, team, nothing here is stable. Proceed with care, but don't delay.
Simon. Yes. Sidestep to your left.
Yeah, this was a TV show called Knightmare. That's Nightmare with a K, as in a knight in shining armour. This was on TV from 1987 to 1994. So a lot of my audience, which is quite young because I do look at the analytics, probably will have never seen this or heard of it. Some of the more mature members of my audience will probably remember this, but I used to watch this all the time when I was a kid. I was born in 1986, and I think I started watching this show when I was about 5 or 6. So I got like a couple of years before it ended, and then of course they did like reruns of it afterwards because it was so popular. It was probably one of the most entertaining TV shows that I watched when I was a kid, and I was always excited when there was a new episode on. You know, it was definitely up there with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like easily. So what was the deal with this TV show? Well, basically they had like a team of 4 kids, and they were always aged around 10 to 16 years old, and it's set in like a medieval environment. There's a dungeon master there as well, and using their wits and their skills, their brains, basically they've got to overcome puzzles, obstacles, and all the unusual characters and enemies that they meet along the journey of this dungeon. The goal is basically to get out of the dungeon. There's 3 levels, and lots of people die. It was quite hard. Not many people actually managed to complete it. So yeah, 4 kids. One of the kids has to wear the helmet of justice. That's a great name for a helmet. And basically his or her vision is very limited, and they can only see through a little slit which shows like the surrounding area. Now the 3 guys who are at the TV have to sort of guide the dungeoneer that's in the helmet and help him out, so they can tell him to sidestep left, as you saw in the clip at the start, and fail. Or they can help him out, tell him to move forward, tell him to pick objects up. You could pick up like health. If there was like an apple on the table or something, you were running out of health, you could go over to the table, pick up the apple, and then get some health back. They could answer riddles for you, so occasionally like a weird wizard would come along and go, I've got a riddle for you. I'm shiny and bright, what am I? The sun. You could use spells as well, so say there was like a big skeleton in your way and it was coming towards the dungeoneer, and if it touches you, you would die and you'd lose the game. So you could cast a spell, like sleep, and then they would have to spell sleep, so SLEEP, and the skeleton would go to sleep, and then you can get past. It was quite hilarious because some of these kids weren't very clever, and they messed up a lot. Now, as a child, you didn't really appreciate the humour. You just watched it for the adventure. But Knightmare is one of those shows that's just timeless. Like you can enjoy it as an adult. It's like Mr. Rogers. It doesn't matter if you're a kid. It doesn't matter if you're 50 years old. You can enjoy this show because it's funny. Not that it was meant to be funny, but it's funny because they misspell things and they mess up quite a lot. But it's timeless. You should totally check it out. There's loads of episodes of it on YouTube. So why am I telling you about this? Well, number 1, I think it's cool. You should totally go check it out. Number 2, I found out today that as part of YouTube's Geek Week, which is going to run from August the 4th to August the 10th, they're going to be making a new episode of Knightmare, which is brilliant. And they've got some actors in there. They've got some YouTubers in there to take part in it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty funny seeing that again, and I think it'd be quite interesting to see what they can do. Obviously, back then it was just using a blue screen like they used for the weather, and the graphics weren't very good. They were all sort of hand-drawn with the occasional video animation stuffed in there, but they looked pretty bad. But for the time, it was all right. But yeah, nowadays it'd be nice to see what they could do with like CGI and see if they could improve the formula of the show. I'd love for them to bring this TV show back. I'd totally watch the hell out of it. And I'm sure kids would love this even more, because fantasy is like a massive part of our culture now. When I was a kid, it was more about like Power Rangers and big robots. And now I think with stuff like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, it's much more about fantasy. So I think kids today would probably love it even more. So what's this Geek Week anyways? Well, if you saw YouTube Comedy Week, you're probably going to have a good idea of what it's going to be like. So Comedy Week was a week full of some live performances, some featured content from actors, from comedians, from YouTube partners. They got some of the biggest funny YouTubers together and made some content, featured it on the YouTube channel. And that went on for a week. And basically they're doing this with geeky stuff now. And I think it's probably going to turn out better than the Comedy Week did, because with comedy I think the audience is quite diverse. Some people really like slapstick humour, some people like awkward Ricky Gervais style humour, some people prefer intelligent humour. You know, the audience is quite diverse. But with geeky stuff, if you like one thing geeky, you're probably going to like lots of other things that are geeky. So an example for you, like someone who likes Game of Thrones is probably going to like video games, and someone who likes video games is probably going to like comic books and superheroes. So I think the geeky culture is much more tightly knitted, and if you like one thing that's geeky and nerdy, you're probably going to like most other things that are geeky and nerdy. So I reckon it's going to be more successful than Comedy Week was. So during Geek Week they're going to have like themed days, so they're going to be showing off like the new Thor Dark World trailer on one of the days, like as an exclusive thing. They start off with Blockbuster Sunday, which celebrates like iconic characters, movies and shows that define geek culture, and that's going to be hosted by Freddie Wong, who's awesome. Monday is going to be anime and iconic comic book characters. Tuesday is going to be science and education, so I'm sure that's going to pull the Mythbusters audience in there. Wednesday is going to be exploring superheroes, supernatural and weird stuff. Thursday is going to be all about gaming, so video games, game-inspired series, news, trailers. Friday is going to be cosplay and sci-fi cooking. Not really sure what that's going to be about. Maybe they're going to get like epic mealtime in there or something, whatever that may be. Nerd debates as well. And then Saturday is going to be like a compilation of all the highlights. So this is important to me because I've submitted a new song, a new music video to be featured on the Thursday of the gaming days. So during YouTube Geek Week on the Thursday, which is the 8th, if my video gets picked to be featured, it's going to be featured on the YouTube channel on the gaming day, which would be absolutely amazing. It's a song that myself and Dave Brown have collaborated on, and we put a lot of time and effort into it. It's really catchy, I think it's funny, and I hope you guys are going to like it. If it doesn't get picked to be featured, I'm just going to release it on my channel anyways, so it's no big deal. You guys are going to get to see it anyway, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to releasing it and sharing it with you guys. I hope it's going to be a hit, and I hope you guys are going to like it. And that's about it for the news today. If you notice the footage that I've been showing, I was using the AEK with a suppressor. Now on these Aftermath maps, having a suppressor is really good because there's so many buildings that you can just dive in and out of. And if you can stay off the minimap and take people by surprise, you can really dominate having like a suppressed weapon, especially something as good as the AEK. I hope you like the footage, guys. It seemed like a lot of people enjoyed the Addicted to Battlefield montage that I released a couple of days ago. That one went down quite well, so thank you very much for watching my content and sharing it and giving it the thumbs up. I really appreciate that, and having you guys as an audience is great. Love you guys. Alright, that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.